In 2007, Apple launched the first iPhone, and within a year of the launch, iPhone recorded sales in excess of 6 million units. That obviously was a great success, the type of success everyone in tech dreams to have. But that wasn't by any means a game of chance. It was a result of carefully crafted strategy, a strategy that actually started 10 years earlier when Steve Jobs returned to Apple as the interim CEO. From 1997 to 2001, Steve Jobs had streamlined the product line of Apple. From a litany of products, he actually came down to focus basically on four: iMac, iBook, PowerMac, and PowerBook. iMac and iBook were basically for consumers, while PowerMac was a desktop for professionals and PowerBook was laptop for professionals. Now, the thinking and strategy behind this was that with smaller number of products, they were able to focus and make these products great, and it also allowed them time to innovate. So in 2001, um, iPod was launched, and building on that, iPhone was eventually launched in 2007, and in 2010, the iPad. So this is a carefully crafted strategy which obviously led to the great success Apple had and still has today. So if you want to build an awesome digital product, you need a product strategy. So what is product strategy all about? Product strategy is basically how you want to move and achieve your product vision. That is the set of choices you need to make on how to achieve your product vision. This includes decisions around your target customers. Who are your target customers? One way not to build a product is to target everyone or to try to satisfy everyone. No, you need to have a target customer. Like for Apple, you saw they had target customers. Even when there are different products, there are specific products for specific target customers. Next, you need to make choices around product features. It's not just about the number of features, but you need to understand your customers and know the features that will actually appeal to them and satisfy them. Next, you need to make choices around product differentiation. How will your product be different from any other thing out there in the market? Now you need to make choices around product positioning, and you need to make choices around business model and pricing. So winning in digital products is critically about product strategy. Now you remember in 2004, Facebook launched. Facebook wasn't actually the first social media platform. A couple of other social media platforms existed before Facebook, but obviously Facebook had a better strategy. Now, why some of the other ones that came before Facebook, the likes of Friendster, MySpace, and a couple of other ones, had a couple of challenges that hindered their growth. Facebook had a strategy of first targeting just Harvard students. That gave it the opportunity to test out its product, iterate, build the platform, stabilize the platform, so that as it started to grow, there was no teaching issue of managing that growth. So building an awesome product is not just about putting features together, it's about having a winning strategy. Now, there's so many ways you can capture your strategy, one of which is the elevator pitch template. Now, this offers you a template where you can bring your strategy essentially in one statement. and it covers things like target customer, who you the statement of need or opportunity, the product category, the key benefits you're offering to your customers, the primary competitive alternative, that is essentially your who your competitors are, and it captures your primary differentiation. Now, if you use, for as an example, Uber, in the early days of Uber, the elevator pitch could be something like this. Remember, this is just for example. So it can have something like, for professionals in America who need commercial transportation, Uber is a cab service that is on demand and efficient. Unlike limo services and yellow cabs, Uber is affordable yet offers great experience. You will see in this elevator pitch, it captures the target markets. You remember in the earlier days of Uber, it's actually targeted professionals in America. Now, the major service it was offering was commercial service. That's the need it was meeting. It was a type of cab service, and the major benefit that it was uses technology to make it on demand, and it made it efficient because you could get your cab within few minutes. Now, the alternatives people had then was either the limo service or the yellow cabs. And Uber had a clear differentiation. While it was cheaper than the limo services, it offered a service far better than the yellow cabs. So you can craft your elevator pitch using this template, and it essentially captures your product strategy. Now, in defining your product strategy, one thing you want to achieve is the product market fit. This is the point in building your product where you have identified a target market and you have satisfied this target market sufficiently enough that they help in promoting your business or your product. And also, this target market is big enough to sustain the growth and profitability of your product. If you're able to achieve this, we say you have product market fit, and this is essential for every new product, especially startups. And there are a couple of things that come into play to enable you achieve this product market fit. The first is that you need to have a value proposition, and this value proposition has to be to a target customer. Now, for these target customers, there has to be an underserved need that your value proposition matches, and there has to be the right customer experience that enables these customers to embrace your product and even promote it, as the case may be. Now, when you achieve product market fit, it's easier for you to scale. So in crafting your product strategy, your focus should be on achieving product market fit and achieving it fast. One important concept you need to consider in your product strategy is your product roadmap. Your product roadmap is actually a long-term plan showing different strategies, different milestones on your product strategy. It's essentially a visualization of your product strategy, and it is important to carry your stakeholders along. Now, how do you create a product roadmap? A product roadmap is actually a very important document. It's not something you do in isolation, it's something you do collaboratively with your stakeholders. These stakeholders could include your co-founders or your board. It could include other market facing units in your organization, especially if it's a big organization, something like marketing units and the rest of them. It also includes your legal HR, and most importantly, your engineering team. So you need to engage them and you need to collaborate with them and review the product strategy and product vision. Then the next thing, you will need to identify the key milestones you need to achieve. And having done that, you need to estimate efforts you required to reach these milestones. And then you can come up with a draft roadmap. Now, creating a roadmap is actually an iterative process. So after the initial roadmap, you will need to essentially review and refine this with stakeholders, especially your engineering team. So your roadmap is a critical document and you need to put effort in doing that. One key thing is that it has to be done collaboratively. It's not just about having a diagram with dates on it. And it's also important to note that your roadmap is different from your product backlog. While your product backlog lists the features you want to achieve, your roadmap focuses on outcome. It looks at key milestones on your strategy. So in creating your product strategy, there are key principles you need to be mindful of. One is to prioritize your market. Like we've mentioned before, when Facebook started, it targeted a particular market, which was students in Harvard, then students in other universities in America. Now today, even granddads and grandmoms use Facebook, but there was a target market. Now, so for your products, you need to prioritize your market. And there are a couple of things that we fit into prioritizing your market. Things like the total addressable market, your go-to-market strategy, and your time to market. Next principle you need to factor in is obsession for your customers as against obsession for competitors. It's important you focus on your customers. Now, it's not about customer is always right, but it's about having your customer in mind in every decision you make. Remember, you're trying to solve your customer's problem, so they should be the center of all your decisions. So in creating your strategy, you should ensure that customers are the center of everything you're doing. Next principle you need to capture here is to align your strategy with your business strategy. Now, for businesses that have just one product, your business strategy is essentially your product strategy. And also, in creating your product strategy, you need to have in mind how you want to differentiate. Remember, you need to offer something that is different from what every other person offers to attract and retain the right customers. And there are several ways you can differentiate your product. One is through offering unique benefits to your customers. Like in the case of Uber, there was the unique benefit that yes, it's on demand and you could get it within a short time, it's affordable, and it is also offers great experience. You can also differentiate based on price. You can differentiate based on the level of service and design. Like in the case of Apple, you saw that Apple offers insanely great experience and it has great design. And you can also differentiate on the basis of business model. In the early days of Yahoo differentiated based on business model, because why some other email services then were had paid subscription, Yahoo offered their product at no cost and then made money through advertisement. So building an awesome digital product is a game of strategy, and strategy actually evolves. So the more you understand your product, you understand your customers, you get feedback, you can actually enhance and improve your strategy. And also, as the market evolves, your strategy will necessarily evolve. as Jeff Bezos puts it, you need to be stubborn on your vision and flexible with the details. So putting it in this context, I want to say that you need to be focused on your product vision, but be flexible with your product strategy.